Hi, this is Chris from the Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from Political Voices Network.
First of all, speaking of Republicans, what an embarrassing week for America. I mean, trust me, as a comedian, it's fantastic. The fact that they're literally punching and shoving each other and threatening fights. But what an embarrassment for the United States of America.
Can I use, if I...
No, you can't swear.
No, can I use the word prick?
No, you can't do that, Joe.
Okay. Isn't that okay, y'all got that clip down.
You wild child on the only satellite.
Can I use now hold on. Can I use the word pussycat?
Yes, pussycat.
Yes.
Pussy, let's make sure you put that cat there. There you go.
I put it in there on purpose. Okay. I'm not that dumb. I don't have to be told twice. This is amazing.
Yeah.
And then you got a speaker of the we just got through talking about the Supreme Court and the drag drag decision.
Right.
And I actually had a guy call in, and he hated it. He just hated this thing. And I said, and I said at one point, Bert and Ernie, we really used to talk about
obviously.
that they were gay.
Clearly.
Yeah, right.
And I literally asked this guy on my show, I said, would you stop your children from watching Sesame Street? And I already knew what the answer was because he paused. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, he would cancel Sesame Street.
Yeah. Well, let me just say, you have to keep up because as of last night, it's not drag shows, but on Fox News, disabled black Santa ornaments are the biggest threat to America. And
we just talked about it. I closed with that clip.
Yep.
and gay nutcrackers, Joe.
And gay nut...
You can say nutcracker on this show.
Wait a minute. I just thought of a George Wallace joke. Uh-huh. But
I love George.
But I said to people, I don't know how, in my neighborhood, I don't know how Santa got into our house because we didn't have a chimney. And so, the old joke about the ghetto and a black Santa Claus and all that. But what I don't, and then we went through this whole thing of drag, people dressing in drag.
Yeah.
That goes all the way back even further. Milton Berle.
Yeah.
Flip Wilson.
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny.
Everybody
Bugs
on Carol Burnett's show.
And one of the channels I watch all the time is the Me channel.
Uh-huh. Yep.
We watch that all the time.
I love that channel.
But that's right.
Yeah. So, Joe.
Now I just hope. Go ahead. I just hope this holds up. This holds up in with the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And damn that Clarence Thomas. I'm so through with him.
Frangela will have thoughts on Clarence Thomas later. But
now you want to talk about taste in women. I just love
I know you love Frangela. Listen, and I love you because you're out there fighting the good fight every day. You did a great interview with our Vice President, Kamala Harris. And Joe, I got to tell you, I thank you because I've met her. And I was saying, somebody tweeted this the other day. I've met her. I've met Hillary. Smart, warm, funny, great. Like the way they get smeared in the media, and the way, to me, Kamala Harris gets both a dose of the sexism Hillary got and the racism Obama got, makes me crazy. Mm-hmm. They make it sound like she's not a factor in anything, right? They're just going to skip over her to, Biden's too old and blah, blah, blah. And you addressed that with her, didn't you?
Well, yeah, because first of all, you know her because she's from your state.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
And look at all the firsts that she has, and all the offices that she legitimately won. And the one thing she said that made sense. Quit looking at the date that's on the birth certificate.
Thank you.
Look at what he has accomplished.
Yeah. Let's play some, because if people miss this, do not ever miss another episode of Joe Madison on Sirius XM. But here's a clip.
I just don't understand about this age thing with Joe Biden, President Biden, and Donald Trump. If I were a fly on the wall in the Oval Office and this came up like it did the other day, what does Joe Biden say to you, Madam Vice President?
Well, Joe, here's the thing I'll say. Actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
And when you look at what the president and what Joe Biden has been able to accomplish, many presidents over many years talked about, for example, what they were going to do to build it back up America's infrastructure. It's under Joe Biden's leadership that we're getting that done.
I mean, it is undeniable how much they have accomplished legislatively, Joe. And I feel like you and I, people like us, are up against the mainstream media as well, trying to get out, the lowest unemployment in 50 years, infrastructure, on and on, right?
We are. You are 110% right. I'm sick of these panels. I'm tired of, these folks who, let the other side get away with misinformation. But the one clip that I had after that interview that I think we sent it to you. Uh-huh. There was this caller who who called in and said, "Well, Joe Biden just doesn't excite me." I mean, I don't know if we can play the clip on our side or not, but she just kept saying, and she said, I don't know. Yeah. I'm just not excited about him. And I guess too much of the Stephanie Miller show came out in me. And I said, what do you, he doesn't excite you. What do you want, an orgasm?
Yay, I've made Joe Madison filthy. Yay. I've made Joe Madison dirtier. Yay.
But wait a minute. But then I said, so then I had the engineer, from, what is it? This,
When Harry Met Sally.
When Harry Met
put
Sally.
in the orgasm, yes.
Uh-huh. Play that scene.
Yes.
That scene.
Oh, yeah. No, I know. God. Yeah. Especially this week, Joe, after these Hitler comments, literally cut from Hitler's speeches about vermin. Have you heard Frangela talk about what's for dinner? I'm going to black mama this. What's for dinner?
Yeah,
Biden, just shut up. What is wrong with people?
Y'all better. I'm going to tell you something. You right wingers out there who call into our show and try to get us on. Y'all better leave Frangela them alone now, because those, one's from Chicago and the other's from Detroit, and they will kick your butt.
They don't play.
I'm just telling you now, just in the butt. But it's sad. It's really sad. We're going backwards, and people think that we cannot go back to the 1930s. It will happen in the blink of an eye. You'll wake up in the.
That's right.
Even Barbara Streisand said, you got that you heard her on I think Stephen Colbert. Mm-hmm. She said if he gets elected this time around, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
I'm not going anywhere. I've got no place else to go.
Yeah.
I'll do the show from Mexico.
Speaking of black ladies that kick ass, here's another clip from
the fact that under Joe Biden's leadership, we capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month.
Thank you.
That is something people have been asking for years, and it has happened under Joe Biden's leadership. You look at it in terms of what we have done to fund HBCUs, Centers of Academic Excellence, and the almost $7 billion that we've put into HBCUs under Joe Biden's leadership. So I just say to folks, listen, let's not get distracted. Let's look at whether we have a president who has actually produced.
Yeah. And one last one from Joe Madison's show on Sirius XM.
That's the measure of the man, not what's on his birth certificate in terms of his age. As for president, it's about, has he actually produced in a way that has improved the lives of people? And on so many of these issues, wages are up now. We've brought over 800,000 manufacturing jobs back to the United States. There are so many issues where we have shown incredible leadership that is having impact. And I think that's what people care about.
Joe, I have to tell you, I was on Larry King's show with Kamala Harris the night marriage equality passed in California, and I came out on TV, and we got to bitch slap Dennis Prager together on CNN,
God.
And I will treasure that memory.
I'd pay to see that. I'd pay to. Really, and think. Can I add something else? And we didn't get to it in the interview.
Yeah.
Think about his age and going, Well, he gets on a plane and goes how many hours to the Middle East to meet with leaders.
Yeah.
He goes to a war zone in Ukraine. He goes to a war, and I got to tell you, this mess, and I've been following you with this Hamas and Israel and listening. We had Malcolm Nance on our show.
Yeah.
And, he shut everybody down.
Yeah.
Palestinians, he shut Netanyahu. Days are numbered.
Yeah, thank good.
And blame it on me.
And everyone in Israel thinks that, Joe, and that's why I don't get, why does he get to be in charge of how long this war goes on when everyone in Israel is saying he's out as soon as this is over?
He's gone.
Yeah.
As soon as this is over, he's out. He was out before this started. Right. And I firmly believe, and again, I don't want to step on Malcolm Nance's wheelhouse. And this is his wheelhouse. But he was on, I think Hamas thought this is the time to do this. And as Malcolm said, they planned this years ago.
That's right.
This was
Joe,
planned years ago.
We got about a minute left, and I wanted to say the good news, bad news on the justice front. This made me happy. Chris Christie says with certainty Donald Trump will be a convicted felon this spring. On the other hand, you heard about the mistrial, of course, in the Breonna Taylor trial. Yeah. And so, some days you feel like justice is coming, and other days you think we got a ways to go in this country, don't you?
Well, we do have a ways to go, and my focus is, I believe, the same as yours. Forget all this polling right now in November, and get ready. We got a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do. Get ready. The way to get down, and who was it, was on our show, and he said he wanted Donald Trump out of public life.
George Will.
George Will.
Yeah.
George Will. I don't have anything in common with George Will except we're from the Midwest.
Yeah.
George Will said, I'm going to vote for a Democrat. I don't care who it is, but I just want Donald Trump out of public life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be fascism versus democracy in 2024.
That's right.
Yeah, I've always thought of you as the George Will of radio. I kid. I love you, Joe Madison. I love your wife a tiny bit more, but I love you so much, and I never miss your show. Everybody, listen on Sirius XM.
That's right.
We love you, Joe.
Let me tell you something. Eric Holder told me. They always love our wives. They love our wives. They love Sharon Malone. They love our wives. I understand. She understands it. And
I've had Eric on. I always get a little nervous. I call him Your Excellency, Your Highness. I'm not really sure what you're supposed to call people at that level. But you get people at that level all the time.
Do me a favor. Just call him Eric.
There you go.
Do not miss a Joe Madison show. The Vice President, the Attorney General, he gets them all. Love you, Joe. See you next time.
Thanks, Joe.
Love you.
We love you.
Love you back. Sherry said love too.
That was Mrs. Madison saying she loves me. There it is, my first drink of the day, Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic. Many of you know my story. I stopped drinking wine for 3 years during COVID, during the lockdown as part of a health reset. Now I drink wine in moderation, but this is an amazing new product. I've always believed in probiotics. And Z-Biotics, check this out. You drink just one of these. It's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. I am using this and I feel great in the morning. I don't have to worry if I have an extra glass of wine, I still feel great in the morning. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. I've always had acid reflux problems. It is this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Z-Biotics produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. All I know is it works. It is Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic. Go to zbiotics.com/politicalvoices or scan the QR code on the screen right now.